which was that Benzino had no business tangling with Eminem.
The streets hustling, you sit behind a fucking desk at the source, butt kissing and begging motherfuckers for guest appearances, and you can't even get the clearances, cause real lyricists don't even respect you and take you serious. It's not that we don't like you, we hate you, period.
Eminem wasted no time talking straight to Benzino's soul on those tracks. And since Benzino couldn't accept his L, and deep down knew he couldn't out-rap Eminem, he did the only thing he could, which was turn the Source magazine into his personal weapon of use. Benzino fired back by giving Eminem's album The Eminem Show, which was already being hailed as a classic by some, just 4 out of 5 mics. In essence, he let his ego completely tank the magazine's credibility, something which has remained in tatters to this day. But this wasn't all that Zeno did. At this point, he was so obsessed that he actually had another trick up his sleeve, hell-bent on bringing his enemy down. He went deep into the archives and found one of Eminem's darkest secrets, an old tape from the 1990s where Shady was caught making racially insensitive comments in a track entitled Foolish Pride.
Anyways, I was in Puerto Rico and I got the call from Dave. He was in the office saying that there was 3 white kids that came up there with the tapes. And I was like, what? He was like, yeah, it was the Eminem's, like, they call it the racist rap hour tapes.
Benzino thought he had found his own nail in the coffin at this point, so he had the Source dedicate an entire press conference to unveil these newly unearthed tapes.
She turned out to be a fucking whack girl, because black girls ain't funny. All they want is your goddamn money.
And so many times I might get thrown, and here's a place where I like to roam. And all the girls that I like to bone have the big butts. No, they don't, cause I don't like that nigga shit. I just here to make a bigger hit.
I don't know. I never knew about this. And you know what's interesting, because you know 2026 moving forward, I mean, y'all know, bro, we can always blame AI. Yo, is that AI? That was not AI, bro. That like sounded like it was way back in the 80s. Or whenever, you know, Slim Shady. I think this was maybe a time when, because we all know, man, when rappers are coming up, they're trying to make a name for themselves, they be clout chasing, right? And this does nothing for us but just reveal that this whole thing of trying to be toxic or being controversial, like extremely controversial, so that you can get those clicks and, you know, engagements and shit like that, it didn't start just now. I never knew about it. I'm not gonna lie though. I don't know about any of y'all. Like, I never knew. You know what I'm saying? Hey, okay.
Before, the magazine later came out with a picture of Benzino holding Eminem's severed head on it. Clearly, he thought this was his big moment. The incident where everyone would realize that he was right and turn on Eminem over his ill-conceived actions back in the day. And to his credit, this spawned so much speculation and controversy that Slim Shady was forced to issue his own statement to the public. The tape of me rapping 15 years ago as a teenager that was recently put out by The Source in no way represents who I was then or who I am today. Dave Mays and Benzino's attempts to use this old foolish recording to damage me, and in turn, the positivity that hip-hop promotes, is really nothing more than blatant self-promotion for a failing magazine and one man's lifeless music career. However, Benzino and The Source were in for a rude awakening when the public still took Eminem's side in the beef, resulting in not just the decline of The Source magazine as a whole, but an irreversible—
Yo, and I think, look, man, like, let me literally point this out right quick. You know what I realized, right? I realized that this live right here, right? I don't know why my OBS doesn't like, you know, start the stream immediately, right? It's this weird little thing where I gotta like click start stream and then like wait a little bit and then click go live, whereas I don't know, sometimes it just like goes straight live. So that kind of like threw me off, because I went live, start live, right? But I didn't I didn't click go live. You know what I mean? So since that didn't happen, I just played my intro without having went live. But it was written go like lie. Like I don't fucking, you know what I'm saying? So it threw me off. Like, so yeah, just let everybody know what the fuck we're talking about, right? Yo, y'all know, man, rap, you know what I'm saying, being the ultimate sports of narcissism, right? Come on, let's admit it. These niggas is brazen, niggas is blunt, blatant, you know what I'm saying, about being self-centered and them being the hero to their own stories, while we know for sure that you do not live on an island, right? You do not exist by yourself. But hey, try telling that to a rapper, you know what I'm saying? It's just, it doesn't connect. Now, it becomes really interesting when we see rappers not being able to take the dreaded L. You know what I'm saying? Come on with it. They take W's all day, you know what I'm saying? They talk about taking W's all day. So, you know what I mean? It may be questionable that they really be taking W's in their real life. That's a different story. But with the image, oh no. You best not hand them the L. Ooh. You know what I'm saying? You already know what kind of result you're looking at, man. I've never seen this kind of topic point, right? Title, thumbnail. So, you know, shout out my boy Luesta. Let's get into it. Rappers that cannot take an L. Let's do it.
Now finna looks my energy till I clock out. Clock it out. As we're in this social street, on since these rates in the energy.
And there you have it, right? That was the whole little thing. Before it like kind of threw me off and shit like that. So that's exactly what we're looking at. You know what I mean? Rappers who couldn't take the L. Now, we are at this little part, right? Where, you know, Luista's pointing out the fact that Benzino was a head of a magazine, like in terms of, you know, blogging, right? Like the article, the editor guy. Feel me? So since he was playing that role, he was an artist in the game that he was, you know, reporting on. You feel what I'm saying? So, of course that was gonna be like one-sided. Of course he was gonna like report on, you know, W things about him and his team and his crew and things like that. Even, you know, inaccurately so at times. Like, I get that whole sentiment. Now, fast forward now in 2026, we got J Academics. Now, don't get me wrong, bro. Like, X track record in terms of like what he has managed to do and his contribution to the, you know, hip hop, like the West's, you know, reporting on the hip hop in the West. You know what I mean? Like, he's done a good job, man, and the name that he has built for himself as a result. Look, that was cool. And I then learned that he's also running a record label. You feel what I'm saying? Now, wouldn't that be the same situation with Ek? Think about it. He's gonna, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's gonna connect like his team with nothing but, you know, the best people in the network of people that he's connected to. Since he's already in the game like that, he's gonna be reporting on, you know, nothing but great things about his team and his artists and things. Like, that's where I think it might be going with the Academy, because that's his record label, right? Shout out the Academy. He was talking to Finesse 2 times, artist Finesse 2 times. I don't know where that ended. You know what I mean? He was promising him I don't know what wait, let me think. Let me try and remember. They were talking about finalizing Finesse 2 time, you know, being on Act's label, but they were also mentioning the fact that Act gotta buy him out of the label that Finesse is in at the moment. So it's basically freeing him first, and then, you know, and then he was talking about other artists beyond that. You know, the Academy Records, man. Is it what, the Academy record label? The Academy Entertainment? I can't remember, but I know it's definitely a record label. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Act though. I won't lie, man. It's respect.
Irreversible blow to Zeno's reputation, because at this point he looked like a bitter and jealous rapper who was just mad Eminem was getting the shine he felt like he rightly deserved. Zeno's stubbornness, impulsive nature, and bias were bad for business all around, and by 2005 he was fired from The Source. Just like that, he lost a rap beef, his job, and rap career, leaving Benzino a little more than just a walking L. So at this point, you would think that he maybe would finally chalk up his loss and move on. I mean, that's what any reasonable person would do, right? Well, if you thought that, then I'm afraid you're wrong. Because rather than processing these public blemishes in a healthy way, he's been letting those L's he took from M fester in his mind for 20 years.
Let's talk about Eminem, yo. That's why we here tonight. Fuck Eminem. And fuck everybody down with Eminem. My thing is this.
We don't even need quick time. So.
That nigga won't face me.
Right.
When we was in Puerto Rico, I was with my man Wes. We popping the motherfucking dashboard with the guns in the dashboard. Like we caught. Who's this DJ FM? Who's Eminem's DJ at the time?
Green Lantern?
Green Lantern caught him.
Or Alchemist?
The thing all, like, yeah, outside the DJ convention. Yeah, don't fuck around with me, man.
Every interview he does now has to rehash the situation over and
Every
over
interview
again.
to this day is crazy work. Not gonna lie.
So much so to the point where on Doomsday Part 2, Eminem had to come back and kill him one last time with a quip about how he lacked not only musically, but physically. What's the opposite of Benzino? A giraffe. Go at his neck. How the fuck is that? How can I go at something he doesn't have? Arms so short he can't even touch his hands. Sorry, I don't mean to upset you, Ben. When I talk about all the debt you in, I hear that you've been creeping on the low. In them cheap hotels that they catch you in. Jesus Christ, dog. On this song, Eminem took a couple shots at Zeno's daughter Coi Leray, who has constantly had a hard time growing her own music career. I mean, it was so bad that when Coi Leray first started making music, she couldn't even tell people that Benzino was her dad, out of fear of being caught in the crossfire of his dubious reputation.
She was
I know
ashamed
that
of her
anything
father.
that has to do with Eminem, I don't have nothing to do with those times, so don't involve me in it. I'm my own person, you feel me? Don't do that.
It's kind of sad. You can tell that she tried her hardest to distance herself as far as she could from her own dad.
That's crazy.
Benzino's failure to accept that beefing with Eminem wasn't the fight he wanted has left.
I feel like, yo, I don't know if any of y'all, and this is just a quick little sidebar, I don't know if anybody is familiar with the whole, I don't want to call it a trend, but the whole narrative, it's gained sort of like a loud voice online, especially on TikTok. Look, I'm a reaction channel, goddammit, you know what I'm saying? So I am going to run into it. But the whole narrative where it's like millennials and Gen Zs are going no contact with their parents and shit like that. Yo, I feel like with these two, right, Benzino and his daughter, they were a public example of, I'd say, some reasons why people of those generations, right, millennials and Gen Zs, be going no contact with their parents, bro. And it's not about, yeah, I get this is like, you know, a celebrity parental type dynamic, right? But you know, it's not even about like the image of this. It's about like the fundamental reasons that just like, you know, creates this disconnect between these two generations. I'm sure what Benzino was like Gen X, right? And Coi Leray might just be Gen Z. You know what I'm saying? So like that whole disconnect, there's a disconnect there, dog. I don't know, it's probably an acceptance of the older generation's principles and their standards, you know what I'm saying? Within the context of today's time, you know, trying to enforce things that worked for them and how, you know, their parents raised them. Now they want to put the same things on this new, you know, this younger generation, like aka your children. And it's like that, the disconnect is crazy, because then again you gotta connect the fact that these Gen Zs are connected to, you know, the rest of the world, and the rest of the world is not on that outdated way of what your mom and dad is trying to have you on. You know what I mean? Shit is moving. Oh shit, is that how it is? Well, I'm sad to say you're being abused. It's like, nah, but you know, my dad loves me, but they still spank me. No, abusing your ass. Oh shit, and then now, you know what I'm saying, now you go against your dad because your friends told you you're being abused. No, your dad, that's how they were being raised, so that's why they raising you like, I'm not cooking? Alright, man. But okay, I'm just saying, like, in terms of, you know, the generational disconnect, these were just like a public example of that type shit.
his identity forever linked to the person he hates the most.
Like hip-hop is who we are. He can't come in and invade hip-hop in Rosenberg and make trillions of dollars. This nigga didn't even go to Nipsey's funeral, bro. If he's so fucking hip-hop, how come he ain't blocked 10 blocks in motherfucking Detroit and give it to the homeless black people? Man, fuck Eminem, bro. I don't got nothing against Eminem.
Oh shit, yeah, I remember this Drink Champs episode. He said, man, fuck Eminem, man. I got nothing against Eminem. Bro, I feel like, you know what I'm saying, like his past, this man's past, I don't know, decisions in how he would handle shit like conflicts in the game and, you know, things like that. Like it left such a stain on his mental and his psyche. They, you know, they kind of manifest like ghosts now. You know what I'm saying? You can see this guy, he's probably taunted and haunted by like his experiences with M. For him to even like come out and like, you know, for it to get under his skin that he cries like this, you feel me? It like, yeah, like it was impactful, right, to him. Then let me do this. You know, I'm trying. Hits out here.
Eminem can rap, but I care about us more. I don't want to go through. I don't want to talk about it no more. I don't want. For 22 years, every time I do an interview, they ask me about Eminem. The fuck you want me to do? Come on, man.
But the thing is, Benzino isn't done. He wasn't the only one getting absolutely obliterated around the time his beef with Eminem started.
Who else?
50 Cent was also putting the belt to Ja Rule's
shit, putting belt to ass at Ja Rule's
ass as well. Because in the early 2000s, 50 Cent was known to beef with just about anybody. Besides his long-standing nemesis, 50 has beefed with Nas, The Game, Fat Joe, and Jay-Z. And through all of these beefs, he quickly
Wait, Kanye is still his long-standing nemesis?
became known as the pettiest rapper alive. But what happens when someone this vengeful finally takes an L that they couldn't accept? From around 2002 to 2005, 50 Cent was literally unstoppable. Following a rocky start,
50 is the original boogeyman, the rap game,
in the music industry that saw him lose his first deal after the infamous shooting that almost claimed his life, 50's signing to Shady and Aftermath changed everything. Before it later went diamond, his landmark debut album
50 is the original boogeyman of the game. Yeah, I hear this whole thing that Kendrick Lamar, When we're talking about real boogeyman vibes, he's the originator. I'm not gonna lie, he's the godfather. Facts.
Rich or Die Trying shifted 872,000 copies in its first week before its follow-up The Massacre sold 1.14 million copies in the same time frame, all while building his gangsta rap empire with G-Unit before investing in Vitamin Water, which later earned him upwards of $100 million. But the problem was that 50 still wasn't satisfied. He wanted to conquer the entire rap game to the point that no other superstars could coexist with him or dare to challenge him when it came to sales.
Okay,
in an attempt to get the industry to bend the knee, he called out artists
here's my little theory on 50, right? Wait, why is my camera off? I just be like clicking quick so that, you know what I'm saying, I waste no time. But okay, we good. Here's my little theory on 50. I feel like 50 was one of those people, he wanted to play, he wanted to play games that are outside of the rap game. Excuse me, aka invest in other industries so that he's good financially, at least, because I mean that is the survival of a man today. You know what I mean? So that by the time he gets to his boogeyman ways within the game, like no matter what happens, no matter what the result is, he's still gonna be around and he's still gonna be bullying motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? He's still going to do that, and you know, without being cancelable. Well, his music might have been cancelable had he been the type of boogeyman that as he steps to you, right, he takes L's, but he never seemed to be the kind of boogeyman that took an L, the kind of bully that took the L, you know. And I feel like his appearance got something to do with that. He's one ugly motherfucker. You feel me? And I feel like that did work to his benefit, because now, you know, people would probably, I'm assuming now, it's my own little theory, right? You know, people would see his face and just be scared, and like, you know, now he's big, feel what I'm saying? And he talks that shit, you feel what I mean? But then on top of that, like, he's a funny ass nigga, you know? So he balances it out with like entertaining the audience that's looking at the whole experience of him bullying the life out of you. But you know, yeah, all his ducks were in a row in that sense. You know what I mean? So now he was smart in the fact that had he been the kind of bully to take L's, people were gonna be able to cancel his music, right? So his music would have been canceled, but like his antics would have never been able to be killed. At the same time, like, that's how I feel. You know what I mean? So he was like, yo, nah, let me just be good outside of this rap shit so that, you know, I don't depend on it for my survival, so that I can do my little, you know, my little crazy man antics, right? So like, that's my little theory on 50.
Kanye for being safe, essentially saying that's why they get the trophies / industry support that he doesn't.
The people who give out trophies pick him because he's safe. I'd sell 1.1 million records in 4 days. I didn't get one trophy for the master.
50 felt that the people loved him more, but the industry loved Kanye more because he wasn't a gangster rapper. At the time, he was seen—
Oh shit, am I about to learn about 50's well, his first L? Well, this is the first time I learned of a 50 Cent L. So he actually did take an L against Kanye.
As a backpack rapper, sporting pink Ralph polos and billing himself as the Louis Vuitton Don. Basically, he catered to a whole other sound than the rugged rhymes that 50 and G Unit had helped to make profitable once more. With that, 50 decided to make an example out of Kanye by betting his entire career that he would outsell Kanye's next album if they dropped on the same day.
You know, so I don't get trophies, I get checks. He gets the trophy. But it's gonna be difficult. How do you give him a trophy now when he comes out at the same time I come out? It's gonna be you're gonna clearly see the favoritism. He's gonna still get the trophies. And I'll be sitting there like, it's cool, because I'll get the check.
Oh shit.
Records you obviously outsold in the past. But for some reason, a lot of people are saying he had a shot. They're not saying that he's gonna outsell.
Now they would like to see, let me tell you something, listen. They'd like to see.
Oh shit, he actually took the L. Nah. I gotta hit him with one of these though. I gotta hit him with one of these.
I had to go back on it. I had to go back on it. My bad, chat. My apologies. I'm tripping. I had to go back on it. I just had a brain fart.
You know how I said, like, I never seen him? Well, yeah, I've never witnessed him. This is actually the first time I hear about 50 Cent having took an L ever. You know what I'm saying? Yo, WA, nigga, like, come on, bro. Like, okay, at this point for me, it's kind of like a battle of the auras, right? So it's like it's your aura that speaks louder than whatever intention you try. Because, you know, this clip right here specifically, like, just, you know, exposes the fact that he clearly thought he took the win, you know? And he probably had some tricks up his sleeve that he probably pulled off, but clearly didn't work. Damn, WA. Because now it's about the energy you emit, and therefore your audience. You know what I'm saying? Sensing the authenticity of your energy, and being like, yeah, nah, you clearly are the winner of this. You know, based off of your energy. If you know what I'm talking about. Like, I don't know if you get that.
Kanye West gives me a problem because I've worked myself into a space where I've become the favorite. Everybody roots for the underdog when he goes against the favorite, but put it like this, let's raise the stakes. If Kanye West sells more records than 50 Cent on September 11th, I'll no longer write music.
Looking back, it's strange that fans saw 50 as the cocky one and Kanye as the humble creative. So naturally, 50 became the guy everyone wanted to see lose. To them, it seemed like 50 cared more about the numbers and the riches that came with it, while Kanye cared more about the actual music. Yet in reality, Kanye realized that this head-to-head was beneficial for them both. And so they appeared together on 106 in Park to officially promote the competition.
This is definitely a big day in hip-hop. It's a monumental day in hip-hop. We gotta know, how are both of y'all feeling right now? It's 11th of September. How are both of y'all feeling?
I'm feeling good. You know I'm a lead. Of course I'm feeling good. He brought his big brother with him. And his big brother ain't no competition for me.
Two totally different styles in hip hop. Do you guys feel that all these different styles can coexist with each other?
He was saying, do you feel like all the styles can coexist?
Of course. You know what I mean? Everybody's got a different preference. I feel like I'm at a point in my career that
you got like two, what is that? Two alpha male? Is that still a thing amongst people? Alpha male, the whole alpha. You know what I'm saying?
People, I'm Muhammad Ali.
You got both of those in the same room. What the fuck you expect?
Right now. What I mean is a lot of people.
Look at these clowns, bro.
Watch, but they don't necessarily want to see me win because I won so big in front of them in a short period of time.
Although it seemed pretty lighthearted, these two big egos had a lot to lose. Whoever won the first week sales would be sending hip-hop into a new direction for years to come. So on September 18th, a week after they both put out their albums, the first week sales were announced. Although people didn't realize it at the time, this moment right here would change hip-hop drastically. 50 Cent with Curtis ended up selling 691,000 units, but Kanye's Graduation won the sales by
and we know Graduation is a classic to this day. Probably went double platinum. Let's see.
200K, selling 957,000 copies in
almost. Oh shit, almost.
Its first week. At this very moment, Kanye represented a shift in
300K difference.
hip-hop directly away from 50 and gangster rap. Finally, the weirdos had won. But instead of taking the loss gracefully, especially for a challenge he started, 50 brushed it off, claiming it was all good marketing and nothing he ever took seriously. He then went on to make more excuses about losing, like the fact that his album got leaked a few weeks before, his label mishandling it, and a whole lot more. Whatever's the case, it was clear that he wasn't going to be retiring. But in later interviews, when 50 was asked about Kanye, you can clearly tell that it bothered him.
Do you not like Kanye, 50?
I don't have a problem with him.
He seems to be somewhat of a punching bag.
No, he's necessary. He's necessary. You need Kanye West and you need 50 Cent. It's the contrast between the yin and the yang.
Yeah, it's true.
But you look at him as your yang.
Huh?
Do you look at 50 as your the yang to your yin?
Oh, nah. Hold on. And we all know that 50 Cent is like the biggest gay detector out there, right? That kind of sound, it sounded anti-50.
That's a good way. I like to think I'm special. For instance, I've been nominated for 13 Grammys and I have no trophy. Should address the guy who made him feel like a punk. Well, he had to make it clear that no one's scared of 50 Cent because that person was obviously making him feel like maybe he's afraid or Kanye West is afraid of 50 Cent. It wasn't 50 Cent. When he has to say no one's afraid of 50 Cent, it's because the public is responding to his punk presentation. It's not 50 Cent. I don't have a problem with him.
I think he was responding to you saying that Kanye would be scared if you were on.
Kanye would not take a trophy from me. Neither Jay-Z.
Right.
Neither one of them.
What would you have?
No, we'd have had an altercation right there.
What would you have done if Lil Mama jumped on the stage while you was
Lil
performing?
Mama would not jump on the 50 Cent stage.
50 views him and Kanye as
50. Bro, watch out, 50?
opposites. To him, a quote-unquote punk like Kanye was only winning because the industry was afraid of 50 Cent's aggressiveness. He absolutely refused to accept his L and acknowledged that music evolution, production, and cultural relevance were shifting away from his hardcore street rap to Kanye's more polished experimental sound. But what he didn't know was that this loss would actually affect him more than ever. After taking that unexpected L to Kanye, 50 struggled to ever really gain back his momentum. After dropping Curtis in 2007, 50 waited 2 years like he normally does and emerged with Before I Self-Destruct, an album that received little love from fans, selling only 160K first week. This was a huge drop-off compared to his past albums.
Okay, yeah, now like the cancellation of his music was like starting to be clear here, right? Because his sales kept going down and down and down, right? And you know, this is only speaking about his music. He still was, you know, an actor. He still was, you know, the whole business thing, selling liquor and shit like that, sales guy, you feel me? So yeah, like 50 was still like just cool, just his music was being canceled. Fuck, like I didn't realize I was this unaware of 50 Cent. You know what I'm saying? This is crazy. I thought I knew the guy. Clearly not. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, nah. Like, I feel like people was starting to fall out of love, so to speak, with his music. And it might have come from that whole Ye situation, right?
It was a direct sign that fans were officially moving on. 50 Cent was the king of beefs and bravado, but his loss to Kanye on September 11, 2007 was the moment the culture pivoted away from him. He didn't lose just an album battle, he lost the image of being unstoppable, and just like Ja Rule before him, his refusal to acknowledge that shift made his decline even steeper. I mean, even to this day, 50 still takes jabs at Kanye whenever he can. For instance, when Kanye released a song confessing that he had a sexual encounter with his own cousin when he was 14.
Oh yeah, point the cousin shit out. Oh yeah, 50 said some shit about that? Yeah, then in that case, he, like, why would he not say anything? You know what I'm saying at this point?
This was 50's reaction. Fuck today, man. The Knicks lost, the Pope died, and Kanye told us he sucked his cousin's dick for 8 years. I'm going to bed early tomorrow. Gotta be a better day. As 50's situation made all too clear, it's hard to accept an L when you're at the top of the world. And this is exactly what Drake is.
Yo, before we get on Drake, pause. Before we get on Drake, how about a little word from our sponsors, right? No, wrong scene, nigga. Wrong scene, what are we doing? How about a little word from our sponsors, right? Let's do it.
Yo. Yeah. When I'm standing in the gap with my cock out. Scorpio. Yeah. Waking up every morning to pop out. Shit. Now I'm finna lose my energy till I clock out. Nirvana. I don't need to, but I wanna. Swear to God, after I eat somebody's daughter. But if she crazy, I don't bother. Unless I got her on a cold night. Trade this knowledge for your soul tied down. Know you fucking with a cold guy, but this ain't all about the pole pipe down. Damn, how the fuck I'm being locked out?
And you know what? I'm actually yo, y'all know, man, rap, you know what I'm saying, being the ultimate sports of narcissism, right? Come on, let's admit it. These niggas is brazen, niggas is blunt, blatant, you know what I'm saying, about being self-centered and them being the hero to their own stories, while we know for sure that you do not live on an island, right? You do not exist by yourself. But hey, try telling that to a rapper, you know what I'm saying? It's just, it doesn't connect. Now, it becomes really interesting when we see rappers not being able to take the dreaded L. You know what I'm saying? Come on with it. They take W's all day, you know what I'm saying? They talk about taking W's all day. So, you know what I mean? It may be questionable that they really be taking W's in their real life. That's a different story. But with the image, oh no. You best not hand them the L. Ooh. You know what I'm saying? You already know what kind of result you're looking at, man. I've never seen this kind of topic point, right? Title, thumbnail. So, you know, shout out my boy Luesta. Let's get into it. Rappers that cannot take an L. Let's do it.
Now I'm finna lose my energy till I clock out. That's where I've been this social street. He's raising the energy.
Alright. Still at it. Right, still at it. The part 2 though. Introducing the part 2. Right, rappers who couldn't take the L. The dreaded L. I know some of y'all probably have names on the top of y'all head right now of more people that we haven't covered with Luesta right here on this video. Saying drop those in the comments before we get to any more name dropping on here. You know what I'm saying? We covered 50 Cent versus Kanye. You know what I mean? And 50 taking the L on that one. Tragic, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, now we are about to cover more of these. So without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's get straight to it.
Is going through right now. Tomorrow gotta be a better day. As 50's situation made all too clear, it's hard to accept an L when you're at the top of the world. And this is exactly what Drake is going through right now. Within the last year, the world saw Drake get
Of course you're gonna open up with that one. Let's get it though.
Torn limb for limb by Kendrick Lamar during their beef, which resulted in Drake's most decisive loss of his career. He not only got out-rapped by Kendrick, but was strategically outplayed, and most importantly, let Kendrick outdo him in what he does best, making a hit song. The beef was really bad for Drake. It got so bad that his final track was basically just him tapping out of the beef. And ever since, Drake hasn't been able to fully accept the L. Rather than continue the fight, he continued to do what Drake does best. Subliminal disses. In a song after the beef called No Face, Drake raps, "How you get lit off the guy you hating on? Numbers untouchable, they got the data wrong." Pretty much saying that the numbers on Kendrick's hit song in the beef, Not Like Us, was—
I'm not gonna lie, No Face was one of his harder releases post the beef. I like No Face.
Unfairly inflated, and that Kendrick is getting recognition mostly because he's hating on Drizzy. Then later in another post-beef song called Gimme a Hug, Drake throws more subtle jabs when he says, "Funny how it's only bitch dudes that are waiting on the boy's obituary. Cause if I die, it's these guys that become the sole beneficiary. And what the fuck are they gonna do with it? Have the girls up at 29 on stage twerking with a dictionary?" Once again, he was basically saying that everyone was waiting for him to
I ain't gonna lie though, I'm not gonna lie. The hardest bitch line in the whole beef was that whole bitch in them with a bitch in them, that's a lot of bitch. No, bitch with them with a bitch in them, that's a lot of bitch. Like something like, you know what I'm saying? If we talking about bitch lines, come on. If we talk about bitch lines, that was like one of the harder bitch lines. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, that was kind of a sidebar, my fault.
Fall so they could take his spot and keep all the benefits to themselves, but that Kendrick's more thoughtful style wasn't built to replace him. While that line was funny and kind of resonated with some fans, all this sneak dissing ultimately did was make the L even louder. Drake is clearly hurt. During the beef, he felt like everyone turned against him, with him even calling it a 20v1, because Rick Ross, Kanye, The Weeknd, and A$AP Rocky all dissed him all at the same time. Even his own record label promoted the diss song from Kendrick, calling Drake a PDF file. Ultimately, that last one seemed to hurt him the most. Because besides sneak disses, Drake's second biggest sore loser moment after the beef was him suing his own record label, Universal Music Group. The lawsuit alleged that they defamed him by releasing, promoting, and profiting from Kendrick Lamar's diss track Not Like Us.
Yo, and I remember y'all remember that whole situation where he was like, even DJ Academics would speak on his behalf, like talking about, yeah, nah, I speak to him from time to time, he's unfazed, he's not even looking at what's going on. Huh? Are you sure? Sure. Yo, and I was talking about, nah, I'm not even looking at these things, I'm not hearing any of this, I'm unfazed. It's like whole time he was plotting like the whole lawsuit against his own label,
which Drake says falsely accuses him of pedophilia, incited real-world threats, including a shooting at his Toronto home, and harassment towards him and his family. This was simply a horrible look culturally, because to most people, it looked like as if he lost to Kendrick in a beef and then sued him. once again making the L even more prominent. However, it wasn't just Drake that couldn't accept what Kendrick did to him. OVO D writers like Academics and Maul were just as delusional.
For you Kendrick Lamar fans, and even Kendrick Lamar himself, congratulations on what y'all think y'all did during this battle, but now y'all gotta go make music that don't gotta do nothing with Drake, okay? Listen, I know the strategy all too well. Go look at the 48 Laws of Power, go look at the 33 Strategies of War. You could go read any type of historical book. The best way to sometimes unite the people is unite them against a common enemy. And the common enemy has been for Kendrick, the colonizer, the white guy who's stealing culture. Let's unite the gangs. Let's unite
Culturally
this.
appropriating.
Perfect, cool. It worked. Y'all got it. Now it's over. You stop talking about what Drake is gonna do. Drake ain't going nowhere. He's already still the biggest rapper in the world. Let's now see Kendrick do what he should be doing outside of a battle, which is make entertaining music that captivates people without trying to unite everybody against a common enemy.
The OVO Avengers pretty much claimed that Kendrick only beefed with Drake in the first place to gain clout, and that Drake could never really lose the beef because he was gonna be the most streamed artist no matter what and have the best numbers regardless. But what they really proved was that Drake and everyone around him were the biggest sore losers, because it only gets worse.
Biggest sore losers. Yes.
And the lead up to his first solo album after the beef, Drake is still rapping about the same old thing. People he used to be cool with crossed him. He'll never forgive any of the people who betrayed him. Rappers who used to like him supported Kendrick in the beef over him. Yada, yada, yada.
Yeah, well, at this point, it's nothing but content for Drake. You know what I'm saying? These moments give him nothing but content. You know what I mean? Like, and it's his pocket. He like that's his go-to pocket. Whenever somebody like sabotages him, oh yeah, he's gonna rap about, like, we're gonna hear about that first before we hear about him having a baby, for example, right? Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, it's content, bro.
At this stage, Drake seems tone deaf. I mean, he might have a point with some of these lines, but the thing is, people are so damn tired of hearing about it, particularly due to the perception that he played victim after actively asking K-Dot to drop. Yes, rappers like Rick Ross were quietly hiding animosity against you and dissed you from out of nowhere, but most people and even his own fans just want him to accept the L like he did with Pusha and move on from it. The entire concept of the song is, everyone hates me, I gave them everything, so why do they hate me? Which is so overplayed, knowing how many times he did this trope already. Due to his inability to move on, Drake losing as bad as he did to Kendrick left a permanent stain on his career, which no amount of subliminal captions or lines in a song.
Yeah, and you know, I don't know if any of y'all caught it, but you know the corny thing about that "What Did I Miss" song is the fact I don't know if it was no Life Shack. I don't think I've seen any reaction of No Life Shack about anything that has to do with the beef. I think it might have been the other guy, man. He even has a song that he dropped, like Scarface, something like that. You know what I mean? He was like, yo, the funny thing about this What Did I Miss song by Drake is the fact that he points out the fact that there's people that sabotage them in the game, and that, you know, the whole Drake narrative, right? The whole Drake lyric trajectory that he goes on. You know, this, that, and the third, and I think he mentioned something about the label, I don't know. But then whole time he's asking, what did I miss? It's like you're literally telling us what you missed while you asking what like, you know, at this point it's like, yo, you good, Mud? Right? Like, you good, Mud? This beef might be taking a heavy mental toll on niggas. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, that's what it was giving. You know what I'm saying?
Song can change. The only thing he can do is stop lying to himself, stop lying to the world, accept his L, and start fresh. But funnily enough, one of the main people who helped take down Drake has actually felt the exact same way before. Drake and Rick Ross have a lot more in common than they would like to admit. They both know exactly how it feels to have a huge stain on their career that they can never ever wipe away. And just like Aubrey, Rick Ross's blotch is one he's never been able to accept either. You see, back in 2008, Rick Ross was exposed for doing something in his life prior to being a rapper that would almost be career ending for him. During a lengthy feud with 50 Cent, Rose was exposed for being a correctional officer in 1995. And lucky for him, this didn't happen through a rap beef. It happened through a leaked photo surfacing online of Rick Ross in a prison guard outfit shaking a lady's hand. And at the time when this photo came out, all hell broke loose. So Rick Ross had to act quick. He had to be real smart with his response to this career-ending threat. Therefore, he insisted the prison guard's story was a Photoshop job, a fabrication, saying, "My life is 100% real. These online hackers are putting a picture of my face when I was a teenager in high school on other people's bodies."
Oh my god, he wanted to blame, he blamed it on AI. Freaking Ross, man. How dare you, nigga? Like, what the hell, bruh? Back when you were still that office, what is that? Warden? The guard shit, right? The prison guard shit. Back in the 70s when you was that shit, no AI was like active then, bro. What was you trying to... This is crazy, dog. Because you know, you like the one thing that's hitting me though, right, is the fact that I don't, okay, depending on who you ask, it's not like this is the way of life, bro. Like people they need jobs to survive, dog. Like that's the reality of life. You know what I'm saying? Even you know, like way before you become the person that you become, the superstar that you are, the superhero, and you know, you get your ego developed into all of that. Like you probably may have had to survive off of, you know, being a prison guard. You know what I'm saying? That's not too deep of a thing until now you start considering Rose's lyrics. Oh my god, wait. The waster? What are you about to reveal to us? Because if you think about it though, right? Rose raps a lot about drugs and moving drugs, and you know, his women hiding his drugs for him having drug labs, and you know what I'm saying, moving like, you know, these drug lords, you know, Escobars and whatever, like being in gangs. But then if your history was being a prison warder, you know what I'm saying, and then but you know, in your music you're talking about these degenerate street activities, it's like what are we doing? Like what's real and what's fake now? Now when we start getting into that kind of territory, yeah, it gets really questionable, right? Let's see if Luis still points that out. Shit. You know, this little fuck thing right here is it's gonna keep happening because, you know, half of my screen is blacked out. Like my projector is cooked, yo. My projector is fried, so half of my screen is like black. I cannot see like accurately, so y'all gonna have to excuse me on that one. Well, bear with me with that one. I got a new projector like ordered, so yeah, it'll be fixed soon.
If this shit was real, don't you think they would have been more specific, like with dates and everything? Meanwhile, apparently some people were tired of hearing Rick Ross's lies, because shortly after that, an article was dropped on him by The Smoking Gun titled "Screw Rick Ross." This article showed real documents and proof that Rick Ross was a CO, eventually forcing him to stop lying about never being one.
The boss. Alrighty now, Rick.
Yeah.
We seen pictures. There's pictures of a graduation ceremony. The pictures appear to be Rick Ross. Now, I'm reading in Double XL where, and I haven't got a chance to get to Double XL, but they said, okay, Rick Ross finally confesses or owns up to being addresses being a correctional officer. So our first chance to talk about this.
Right.
Rick Ross, where did the picture come from? Is that Rick Ross? Was Rick Ross a CO?
Big boy be putting that question on Rose like, yo, this is your time to shine, homie. Give us the truth. Man.
Is that created or is that a real picture?
See, this is what we did, right?
No.
I got with BET and we doing a whole special.
Stop that shit, man. Just address the fucking question.
On my life, we chronicling my life. For a lot of people that just really want to know what the situation is. The boss done did it all to get money.
You know, me being a CO,
Oh
you know.
my God, okay, he eventually came out with it. Okay, look, let's give him let's give him that. Like, he was probably one of those corrupt ass COs that, like, you know, consumed the drugs with the inmates and hid, you know what I'm saying? Like, hid and swept under the rug some of what these inmates was on and shit. Like he probably was one of them corrupt ones.
That being a job and, you know, just understanding the grind and the hustle and anything else I may have done. It's just a job. It's a hustle, baby.
However, each time he was asked about being a CO, he tried to spin it in a way by saying he was just trying to do his job to feed his family any way he could. But this only left fans saying that if that's the truth, then why did you lie about it from the beginning? They weren't buying any of it. Everyone picked Rick Ross apart.
Yeah, because now it's that whole lying thing. It's that whole lying about it thing. Yeah.
Part lie by lie. Ross still lies about the specifics of his job at the prison to this day, saying that he only worked for 4 months and didn't finish training because he was tardy.
You were a correctional officer at one point?
I was, yeah.
So going all the way back, when was that? How long ago?
Maybe when I was 20.
20 years old?
Yeah.
What kind of people were in there?
You know, I didn't really get to make it to the prison because you got to go through training and all that, and I didn't last long.
Right.
I may have lasted 4 months.
Right.
Before they said, I was a little tardy.
However, as more and more articles kept coming out, like the smoking gun one, people found out that Rick Ross was not just a prison guard, but a prison guard with a perfect attendance, completely disproving his claims of not really engaging with the program and making him take yet another L for not being able to accept his first one. So after the truth came out, Ross's street credibility was definitely diminished. People like 50 Cent mocked him relentlessly, calling him Officer Ricky and turning it into a meme.
Officer Ricky? Damn, Rick. Oh shit, Ricky's friends are outside. You hit him?
Ricky's friends.
There they go.
Ricky's colleagues.
Oh man, Ricky's crew. He said he got a $2 million crew in New York City. We're talking about the NYPD.
I got a $2 million team of niggas in New York.
That's who you was talking about when you said you got a $2 million crew in New York City?
The scandal.
Yo, 50, man, come on, man. And you know he was gonna run that shit to the ground, nigga. Yo, nah, this one is a stain and a half. Because to this day, bro, this man might be talking about like some hard stuff and, you know, threatening niggas and da-da-da-da. You know what those niggas that he be threatening gonna do? They just gonna be like, oh, you gonna bring your guys out to me. You gonna bring the cops out for me. Okay, cool. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's always gonna, like, be that pig. Like, you know, he's always gonna be like 12. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Scandal created a cultural stain that Ross could never shake off. But luckily for Officer Ricky, he's a great rapper, which means that he ended up being able to hide this stain.
The reps is, you know what I'm saying?
Behind amazing projects that he would drop later down the line, even if his animosity for 50 Cent is still apparent to this very day.
Charlemagne referred to 50 Cent as a diabolical genius. And me, you know, thinking the way I think of Charlemagne, he would know better than that. A diabolical genius doesn't file foreclosure, doesn't file bankruptcy, it's not a diabolical genius. A diabolical genius for my next generation of young bosses. They buying Delta, they buying the Miami Heat, they making big boy moves. Cracking jokes on somebody don't make you diabolical.
Since we didn't get to see it play out with Ricky, it makes you wonder, what happens to the other ones who aren't as lucky?
Shit.
What happens when that one stain on their reputation ends up being the
nigga L for Logic
only thing that they're known for?
You're mixed, right? Mm-hmm. Which parent is what?
My father's black, yeah.
And your mom is white?
Yep.
Okay. Now, from first impression though, you look white.
Of course, yeah.
You've dealt with this your whole life. So, do most white people think you're white? And do black people think you're black, or is it kind of, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, I understand. Yeah, no,
yeah,
I think,
you see what I'm saying?
This is Logic, a rapper who let his whole existence turn into a meme simply because he wasn't comfortable in his own skin. While his first album, Under Pressure, made him a new star for Def Jam, Logic struggled to accept how he was viewed by the public. Ultimately, his issue was that when most people look at him, they see a white man. He's...
So do you think his whole struggle was the fact that, yo, he actually, you know, based off of his parental dynamic, he actually got, you know, he got that ticket to say the N-word? It's just that, you know, because he's even involved in a sport that, like, revolves around the N-word, goddammit, for lack of a better expression, right? So, you know, his gripe might have been that, like, yo, give me the N-word, and, you know, he just doesn't look the part, like, I don't know. I'm just trying to piece some pieces together, like, yo, don't look at me.
He's even been falsely labeled as a white rapper multiple times.
Yeah.
But that's not how Logic sees himself at all, which is why he wanted to let the whole world know that he's actually biracial. Honestly, this is a very commendable and understandable thing for him to do.
But I think I've heard him say, you know, the N-word a bunch of times. And me learning the fact that, yeah, he's got, you know, a biracial kind of situation in terms of his parents. Feel me? Like, I went on to reason that as, like, yeah, it's because of that, right?
Until you realize that for some people, no amount of convincing, like even seeing his black dad, was gonna make them see Logic as a black man. So at that point, any regular person would just take the L and not try to prove themselves to random people over and over again. But the thing is, Logic is no regular person. He is one hard-headed man. So he tried to convince them any way he could. Over the course of his career, and particularly during the rollout of his Everybody project, Bobby tried to tell us that he was black in a multitude of different songs, with lines like, "I'm just as white as that Mona Lisa, I'm just as black as my cousin Keisha," from Black Spider-Man.
Fuck everybody hating on me right now. I'm black and proud. I'm black and proud. I'm just as white as that Mona Lisa. I'm just as black as my cousin Keisha. I'm biracial, so bye, Felicia.
And Papa was a black man. Mama was a racist.
I mean, you know.
Growing up, she called me the N-word. Kids called me a cracker.
Okay, let me just go ahead and you know, let known how I feel about this whole situation. With the Logic situation, bro, like, what do people expect this man to do? You know what I'm saying? It's his life, it's his expression, bro. It's his, you know what I mean? He couldn't control the fact that, yeah, I'm born by a black, what did you say, mother? White dad, and like the fact that at first impression, like I look white. I came out with, like, you know, the non-melanated skin tone though, but in my genes I got the black genes. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and he's an artist. He's gonna express like all aspects of his life, you know, where he can. So now this being in his music and people not actually liking that about him, you know what I mean? I don't even think, you know, right now that kind of thing is something to be talked about. All because he couldn't control the fact that he, you know, I mean, with somebody with these kind of expressions, you could tell he probably wished his skin was darker, at least like light skin, like J. Cole type mixed race, right? Trevor Noah type mixed type shit. But he came out with the, you know, yeah, Caucasian skin, blue eye, blonde type blue. Okay, I don't think he's blonde. Yeah, I'm just saying, like, as an archetype, you know what I'm saying? My fault for doing that. I'm sorry. I'm just saying though, like, he, you know, if it were up to him, he would come out that way. You know what I mean? But then now the fact that he has to iterate that in the music and say, no, I'm actually black and proud. Like, I gotta like tell y'all that. You know what I'm saying? It's not like it's not radiating from me. You know what I mean? Like that. It's not worthy of saying, yo, that's an L. I don't know, dog. Like this, like, why did they cast them away for that? Like, why did they cast them aside?
Then on Afric Aryan, he raps,
"Tell white people I'm black, feel the need to retreat like I should be ashamed of my granddad."
Yeah, you see, for him to even come up with these kind of rhymes, dog. You know, like 1 or 2, 3, 4 bars about it, and then we never hear about it until the next 4 albums is cool. But each line like this, he should have never have to come to this point, dog. You know, I'm just saying, that's just like, according to me.
Daddy Malik, but my beautiful black brothers and sisters wanna act like I'm adopted. Go back in time to when my nigga daddy impregnated my cracker mama and stopped it.
For some reason, everywhere he goes, they have to talk.
The dad was black.
Talk about his race, like he's the first biracial person on the planet.
You're half black, right?
Yeah.
Because I know there's been like a lot of like that statistic, that fact has been a big part of that criticism of your career.
Yeah, like 7 years ago, but yeah.
How do you feel about your own use of the N-word, and like, is that something that you use like at all? Like,
And is there an extent? Are you allowed to give it out? Are you not allowed to give it out?
Like the past?
I can't sit here and say what's right and not. I don't know. Like, I don't give a fuck. I grew up and yeah, of course I use the word. Are you joking? What are you talking about? I'm fucking black. Yes.
I mean, even when he's interviewing someone else, it comes up.
People have given me shit for saying nigga.
Whoa.
I know.
But you're half black.
Exactly.
You can say it.
I know, but it's like, respectfully.
Is it
like,
because you don't look it?
Of course.
Logic went through major lengths to try and prove to everyone that he was black over and over and over again, to no avail. And the more he pushed, the more the biracial part of his identity became a meme. Obviously, him trying to express to the world that he's a proud black man isn't a bad thing at all, but the way he went about doing it just felt cringe and forced.
If it was 1717,
that's
Black Daddy.
That's what I'm saying. I guess, you know, it didn't have to be cringe, but he ended up making it cringe. But of course, it's because the fans are like probably coming at him about it, you know? Because like, what's the reason? Like, you said it a couple tracks before. Why do you need to say it the next 25 songs?
White mama wouldn't change a thing. Light-skinned motherfucker certified as a house nigga. Well, I'll be goddamn, go figure. People either treat me like I'm some racist Aryan motherfucker, or racist ass white people treat me like, you know, send your ass back to Africa. Like, these are things that people have said to me.
Logic's inability to accept that people would forever see him as a white man completely undermined his talent. He became known to casuals as the biracial guy instead of the dope rapper that he is. He never completely failed commercially since he sold millions and held a loyal fan base. But from a cultural standpoint, his identity became a distraction, a repetitive tagline that people turned into a meme. He's obviously talented, but to people that didn't know him fully, his name instantly made them think corny, lame, and unconfident.
Damn.
Eventually leading him to temporarily retire from hip-hop when the hate got too much. Along with a long list of other cringe things he says and
Damn.
Yet he actually seems pretty
He did that? Jesus. Yo, shout out to that Astro Dior sound effect over there. Jesus! What?
content with where he's at today, residing below the mainstream perch where he was at and doing his own thing on a lower level. However, while Logic found happiness where he's at now, it's always satisfying to watch the worst people in hip-hop try to reclaim what they never deserved in the first place.
You know why people so mad? Cause they thought it was over for me. They counted me out.
Shit.
Yo, you ratted, it's over for you. Y'all could never cooperate with the government and come back. Y'all could never do that. I'm a living legend at the age of 24 years old.
Ever since 2021, 6ix9ine refuses to accept that he fell off. And year after year, he continues taking L.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie. It worked for him. You know what I'm saying? Hey, it worked for him. You know what I mean? His stubbornness worked for him because like he doubled, tripled down. He's gaining respect from niggas in the streaming world, bro. Okay, I don't know whether that's the fact that he's been embraced by, you know, DJ academics, and he too is one of the most hated. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to controversial figures within, you know, the culture, the hip hop fraternity. But then again, you know, you need these controversial figures. You know what I mean? And Ak has become the behemoth that he has become. Let's face it. You know what I'm saying? A million subscribers to him. You know what I mean? I know it takes a whole lot of people a couple of months, I don't know, a couple of years to do that, but it took him like what, 15 plus years? That's what he said. So the fact that he has, you know, gone to that point and has embraced this nigga right here, 6ix9ine, you know what I mean? Yeah, now people are standing with 6ix9ine because, yeah, well, but I'm not gonna lie, man, 6ix9ine's personality, you know what I mean? He's that kind of like crazy, that's kind of entertaining at the same time. Let's not lie, you know? And for him to mix that in with him doubling down with defending his L, You know what I mean? Like that kind of has propelled him to be, you know, amongst these streamers, right? I think it's even like it's part of his record deal now for him to do streams and shit like that. But I'm not gonna lie, they're entertaining, and you know what I mean? For the most part, he's using those to just like dismiss or clean up his name for the L that he took, right? And like, yo, people are embracing 6ix9ine, man. I'm not gonna lie.
L after L. But ultimately, most people feel he deserves every bit of the struggle that he's going through. At the end of 2020, after snitching and getting released from prison
yeah, he did go back into prison. So he's currently in right now. I remember that happened.
Millions of eyes on him, 6ix9ine released his highly anticipated Tattletales album, which ended up being his first major L. Tattletales sold only 53,000 units in his first week and debuted at number 4 on the Billboard.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, with the music he is cooked. I'm just saying, streaming though? Come on, man, the boy got a chance. If you know, you know. Yeah, the music been done, bro. Like, we know that the music been done.
200 after then quickly falling off.
I mean, he just dropped a song right now with wait. Oh no, my fault. Nah, I was gonna connect it to something wrong, my bad.
With high profile singles like Gooba and Trolls featuring Nicki Minaj and All Those Eyes on Him, this was far below expectation. Before this, the prison comeback definitely made some noise on social media, but when it came to the music, it didn't do much. From that point on, his ability to drop hits like he used to at his peak of his career just kept falling off. In 2022, 6ix9ine tried to cling onto what was left of his tough guy image by posting himself arguing with Meek Mill with security all around them. In an attempt to use this moment to get people to care about his music again, 6ix9ine dropped Zaza, another song where he's yelling at the top of his lungs. But the difference is that in this one, he mocked King Von's death and more relevantly included the video which we just saw of him in Meek Mill. He put this in thinking that it made him look gangsta for pressing Meek with all their security around. But it actually backfired on him. No one cared. And those who did could see right through this stunt. Since everyone didn't take the Meek Mill situation seriously, 6ix9ine decided to try and prove that even after snitching, he didn't need to have 24/7 security anymore. Therefore, in March of 2023, while at a random gym in Miami with no security, he wound up getting assaulted in an LA Fitness locker room.
3 people are arrested and booked after allegedly beating rapper Tekashi 6ix9ine at a Florida gym last week.
Yo, homie, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm a fan, bro. Yo, I'm a fan.
He jumped this man.
I'm a fan, bro.
I know, but y'all niggas jumping, nigga.
I ain't jumping, bro. I'm just
sure.
That's crazy.
And instead of sympathy, the internet did exactly what he would do. They mocked him and turned him into an ever bigger joke.
They mocked him, they jumped him in the bathroom and then told him, you know, when the security, I think that's the security that pulled up. You know, they were like, yo, nah, we fans, we big fans, man, come on, man, just a little picture. After jumping him, yo, bro, fans can be